Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the PRA podcast. I'm your host, as always, Sam. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about something that I struggled with for a while, and I'm sort of breaking out of my shell on. And I think there's a few other people that I think are sort of caught up in the same thing, and that is like sort of dwelling in a certain realm or area, and there's certain things that you want. There's certain things that you know you can accomplish. Certain things that you know you can do. There's certain things that, all these things. However, I think that, there's few people that actually, attack things in the way that they should. And what I mean by that is, me, for example. I used to tackle a lot of things. Right, I used to do a lot of things, a lot. I used to do all kinds of different stuff, and then I got really burnt out. And I think throughout the entirety of what I was doing, I lost sight of why I was doing it. And I started doing it for a specific reason, and I think that was when it was escalating. And then as it started to sort of dip downward, is when I sort of was around the time that I stopped sort of believing. And sometimes doubt creeps in, quite often actually, and you just get very self-conscious. You almost think as if you don't deserve it, or you're not worthy of it. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. Is the confidence level, the belief in knowing that you do deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve to live the life you want to live. If that means you becoming a billionaire and doing all this stuff, then by all means do it. If that means you being humble and having a balance between you and your family life, do it. Because it's not about this portrayed way of living. It's about the internal part of your life. It's about the internal part of how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your life, how you feel about just your day-to-day in general. And like I said, a lot of people lose sight of certain things. Like I did. I lost sight of why I was doing things. And certain people understand that, and they don't let things deter them. But other people, it's kind of hard, because you might be something might have happened and it really just de-escalated you, or it really messed you up, and it's okay. But sometimes we get in a rut and we stay in a rut, and then we look in the mirror and we really just don't like what we see. And I don't mean just physically. I mean mentally, emotionally. Just when we look at ourselves, you almost want to look away. You don't want to accept that that's you. And it is. And I was watching a Gary Vee post, and he was talking about accountability. And he was saying the things that you do wrong, yes. The things that you do right, yes. Either way, it's my fault. Either way, it's my fault. It's nobody's fault but my own, is what he said. And that's absolutely right. And that's the way that we should live. And that's really where I'm at right now. And it's important to think like that, because that's in a mindset to where it's all in your responsibility. It's all to you, because it really is. There's really nothing holding you back other than yourself, other than ourselves, really, because I hold myself back all the time. And so mainly what I'm getting at here, guys, is just be yourself. Don't be predicating your actions based on how afraid you are of putting yourself out there. Be yourself. Because if you're not yourself, you're attracting other things that are not authentic, other things that are not genuine to what you want. But the second you start to put things out there, and the second you start to actually tell the universe what you are and who you think you are and what you want, and you put it out there and you really believe it, and you start to really act like it, then good things come. That's exactly what happened to me at the beginning of this podcast when I was doing all my interviews and stuff. Like my interviews, I was able to do all kinds of interviews, and I was able to get all kinds of interviews, and that's why. It's just because like I really believed like in everything that I say, and I stopped believing. I stopped believing when my wife left me. I stopped believing in like my capabilities as far as like what I knew about emotions, because obviously like I wasn't good with emotions, right? Like if somebody leaves you because they like fall out of love and all this stuff, like it's obviously something wrong with you, right? Like so you acted like you were something you weren't, and it took me a long time to realize that wasn't the case, that it really was just a matter of like non-compatibility, which is important. It really is, because like it does happen, and sometimes certain people don't even like pay attention to it, so they force it for a while, and then they force it for like a decade, 2 decades. But my point is, I'll wrap this up with this: believe in yourself, have confidence in yourself, know that you're worthy of things, know that you're worthy of good things, and put out into the world what you want, but know what you want and be sure of it, and be sure of yourself. That's why it's good to set that foundation. Know who you are, and then put out what you're going to do into this world, and it will happen. You just got to work for it for the rest of your life. If that's really what you want, then it shouldn't be a problem. But good vibes, guys. I really appreciate you guys listening, as always. And remember to favorite the podcast. I don't think I said that on the last couple. Don't forget to favorite the podcast if you guys did listen, and share it if you did listen as well. And yeah, follow me on all socials, and I think that's it. I mean, yeah, keep it short and simple, short and sweet. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you guys later, and peace.